his brain tract was driven by something, he's now following a brain tract. Now scientists have discovered a heart brain. Behind a heart is a neuronal complex of 40,000 neurons, that's a lot. So all our actions and thoughts are relayed here. And this says good and bad. Now since Darwin came on the scene, we had forgotten good and bad, isn't it? We had given up on this old-fashioned conscience. Now again, thought scientists say there seems to be a heart brain that is referred to. This get relayed, but we can go and do what we want. But this says no good, okay. So conscience has returned according to thought science. Okay? So science is learning, isn't it? Tell your neighbor, science is learning. Science is learning, yes. If we instruct him to do something, he will reject our instruction. That is true. So you have to tell them in the language they'll accept. I told you, have a playroom, make him boss of the playroom, little by little, say, son, this rack is for you for this rack is for your little sister, help her also to manage. Do you get what I mean? Anything he can manage, he likes to manage, get him to manage. Then the outdoor games, somehow remove cartoons, digitals from his life as much as possible. Whatever parents or family members ask him to do anything, he was interested, but he does not want to talk. How should we do? Yeah, these are very real questions. I think this must be a parent who has an ADHD child. Maybe you should meet me after this talk. Very important questions. If his next step with some stronger child, met up with some stronger child, he will feel shy. It's a symptom of hyperactivity child like it is. You can see some of these questions are true for normal children also. So which part has to be addressed is the question. So we are also, we'll take this up. We are also learning in this process. Psychiatrists prescribe Ritalin for ADHD in Malaysia. What are your thoughts in this treatment? Yes, my thoughts are rather violent on this, so let me cool down. You know, I was head of Department of Pharmacology in a state medical faculty. Fact of the matter is, every 10 years, since about 1970, our profession started going terribly wrong. In 1972, they changed the oath of Hippocrates. When I entered medical faculty, I had to say, as a medical practitioner, I will not help a woman procure an abortion. That was part of the Hippocratic oath. 1972, it was struck off. So now doctors don't have to say it. And you know the consequences of that. So in 1970, many things changed in the world's ethos. Lots of mothers had to go to work because of the economy. A lot of environmental influences, including organophosphates, all these things people question. Then junk food, I forgot to mention that, how much junk food affects digital behavior. They reciprocally feed on each other. So ADHD children, so I'm deviating from the question to this important topic, ADHD and junk food, okay? I'll speak on it for 2 minutes. ADHD and junk food. Depending on which molecule of the brain in this child is overactive. Understood or not? Brain is full of molecules. Depending on the child's digital predilection, what has gone on in the child, dopamine may be overactive, or serotonin may be overactive, or rarer known molecules like NMDA may be overactive. Got it? That junk food, normal food don't have chemicals. Normal food have chemical, but don't have this kind of chemicals. But the junk food, the coloring, the fizzy drink or whatever, may have that molecule, and when that child takes that food, he goes berserk more than normal. A mother could track it. Now there's a lady called Professor Doris, Rapp, I think her name was. She did extensive work on this, how to identify the molecule, how to identify the food that may be making your child hyperactive. So it's true. There's a thing like that. But all children are not like that. Some hyperactivity children, their problem may be a food item. And of course we know sugar, chocolate, colas, peanut, some things push a button in some children. We know that. Ritalin. So in 1970 onwards, every 5 years or a decade, medicine makes big money on a drug. So they brought in the statin theory and cholesterol, and a whole lot of money was made on it. Then when it came to 2000, they rightly realized that we need a new field in pharmacology to earn money. By 2000, and certainly since later, governments didn't have money to give medical faculties. Then drug companies come in like the Santa Claus to give research grants to medical faculties. What for? To produce research. What kind of research? Drug companies are not into charity. They produce research, they need research that will sell drugs. And since medical faculties didn't get state grants, world's economy is going down, and assistant lecturers have to become lecturers, lecturers have to become senior lecturers have to become associate professors, associate professors have to become professors, professors have to become senior professors, and faculties have to have money for everything. So they produce research that will get research grants from whom? From pharmaceutical companies. So you get research cooked. It doesn't stop there. Medical journals need money. And who gives them money? Drug companies by their advertisements. So medical journals increasingly have to produce research articles, publish them, and those articles are funded by whom? Drug companies. So from 2000, they developed the field of child psychiatry. And ADHD and Ritalin became part of that field. So that is why this preponderance of finding any behavioral pattern of the child about which the mother complains goes under a drug. So what must we do? Educate mothers, which is easier than educating doctors, believe me, not to take your child for drugs. This is, I'm talking to you in a little funny way rather than in a violent way. It's a tragic field. So please don't take your children to get drugs. Handle their wrongly learned behaviors by teaching your child, training your child in a better way. I told you there's a small percentage of children who during school hours, given the minimum dose of methylphenidate is the proper name of, the pharmacological name of this drug, and they may improve in their study pattern. Don't give it throughout the day, because when you give a drug, receptors close down. Because there's a drug that is called down regulation of receptors. So to get the same effect, what must you do? You have to increase the dose. This is what alcoholics do. The kick you got from one shot on first day, you will not get in the next day. So you have to take 2 shots. You have to graduate from wine to beer, beer to whiskey, whiskey to vodka. You get the point? Same with drugs. So the moment you start a drug journey, increasing dose of one drug. Then side effects come, you stop that drug, you add another drug. It's an endless whirl of reactions and managing drug therapy in a field drugs should not be introduced. Nature, music, does it help in wiring the brain? Music does. Nature meaning we direct the arts and crafts wiring. Initially the child is, Ron, I'm fielding questions, that's okay. I've basically given the knowledge, I'm just answering questions. If you have more questions, you have to send it up. I'll try to quickly answer the questions. Initially the child is willing to share his toys with sibling and talk. After a while, house using Lego, Lego is not good for ADHD. Lego is not good for ADHD. Lego shapes are unnatural. Lego develops repetitive addiction. Normal children, it's okay as an exercise for 15 minutes. But if a child is already impulsive and hyperactive, don't give Lego. Understood? It's not a way to retrain the brain. Give them vivid puzzles and more close to natural building stuff. Close to natural. Lego can become a repetitive habit. Old-fashioned mechanosets, how many of you remember? Old-fashioned mechanosets. You know, nuts and bolts and, you know, bars and wheels, variety. Yeah. My suggestion for ADHD children, Lego also can just add to the addiction because they get addicted to one thing. Yeah, this is about ADHD. The child who is supposed to be ADHD is pushing down the siblings. And this child was taught to take a deep breath. Why is this sudden change of mood? What is the cause? So when a child who had a certain pattern of hyperactive behavior, it increases, check the food. And you have to consider the effect of repetitive cartoons and repetitive things, even like Lego. With them, don't give anything daily. Change the curriculum, what you give them. Did you understand? So parents have to get involved, grow flowers, grow vegetables, pets. Some people recommend keeping a child in a farm, a pet at home, keeping a child in a farm, 2 weeks in a farm, and they handle donkeys and cows and get involved in milking and little animals, and you know, they heal up that way. They want to express love and they want to receive love. What better place than family for that, isn't it? So I don't know if you can set up your family always and your hours to give the child variety. I am theorizing child can be healed. Add to that these different things, but without home being healing, whatever you add, child may not heal, isn't it? Okay? I have to confess that we pray for children. That adds a lot to the child's healing. I think we have had very good results because of that. And we support the parents through this very difficult exercise till the child becomes normal. As I told you recently, we have had some very good stories, encourage us, tell us that we are on the right track, and encourage the parents, isn't it? When a parent tells a parent, this is how I came, this is how my child came, he's so much improved, other parents get very encouraged to try this way, without drugs. Initially, he is willing to share his toys with brother and sister. After a while, he will try to set it back as when he started to build a house. 15-month-old brother take one and he will take the Lego piece and hit on the brother's head. Yeah. Very difficult problems. An umpire has to be there. Someone older has to work with them. Any other questions you'd like to bring forward? This boy is 4 years. He could recognize simple but unable to recognize numbers and alphabet. Yes, this is not ADHD. This is a dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyspraxia. That's not my field. I only know them by name. I haven't worked with them. These are other very specific learning disorders that you have on the boards there. I haven't worked with them. how to get children